5. World War II's Made in the Shade landed in Pocatello this morning. Plus, cyber criminals may have been looking to hold a company's data for ransom earlier this year. Also, more counties are added to the list of those requiring face masks.
You're watching KPVI News at 5, news that works for you.
Good evening and thanks for watching. I'm Misty Inglet.
And I'm Matt Davenport. Historians and World War II fans rejoice as we have living history in eastern Idaho. The B-25 Mitchell bomber, known as Made in the Shade, landed at the Gate City this morning.
KPVI News that works for you journalist Cesar Cornejo has more on this historical plane.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, that wasn't Superman flying around today. It was the B-25 Mitchell bomber known as Made in the Shade. The historic World War II plane landed at Pocatello Regional Airport Monday morning as it finishes its tour before heading back to Mesa, Arizona. Pocatello Mayor Brian Blatt welcomed the plane and its crew in a ceremony honoring them. Mayor Blatt had this to say after touring the World War II fighter plane.
Absolutely incredible to be standing by a piece of equipment that actually flew in that war and saw combat experience.
After seeing the battlefields of the European theater, this plane had many different lives after as a training aircraft and even a plane to spray fire ants. After 28 years of restoration efforts from the Commemorative Air Force, it now gets to fly into different cities throughout the country. Bob Taylor, crew chief of Made in the Shade, had this to say about the welcoming party.
It is a pleasure to be here in Pocatello. It was a fantastic welcoming party we had here.
The aircraft will be at the airport for the next week, offering tours and, for those that purchase them, flights this weekend.
Just like to welcome everyone to come out and take a look at this wonderful aircraft. They don't come around often, so take the opportunity while it's here.
In Pocatello, Cesar Cornejo, KPVI, news that works for you.
And for more information on those B-25 tours and flights, you can visit our website at kpvi.com. Well, it was a nice sunny day out there for flying, Doug, and we just keep getting warmer and warmer. So I got to ask you, does it mean I can keep my shorts out a little while longer?
Definitely. We're kind of in the thick of some heat right now. Of course, in the thick too of some smoke. And if you have respiratory trouble like asthma or even lung disease, you'll definitely want to stay indoors as much as you can. This is how bad it looks over in western Wyoming. This is just near Jackson, looking towards the Tetons. Of course, the farther north you get, they start to disappear there because the smoke is so thick. Temperature-wise, well, as Misty said, definitely a little warm enough for shorts, that's for sure. We're at 89 in Pocatello, 85 currently in Idaho Falls. In Jackson, a little bit on the warm side. They're right at 80 degrees. And down in Alpine, they're at 84, 80 in Georgetown, upper 70s over in Caribou County. Evening tracker, that smoky sky will continue. At least the smoke makes for some spectacular sunsets, so get your camera phone handy. Yeah, we all have one, right? A camera with our phone. Yeah, they're spectacular. We might even share it on the big screen if you email it or post it on Facebook. Temperature-wise, by 10 o'clock at night, we'll be down in the upper 60s. Certainly a warm Monday evening to start off. We'll talk more about the forecast coming up.
All right, Doug, I like that. We'll be back. The Board of Eastern Idaho Public Health has put restrictions in place for Fremont and Madison counties. This morning, the board voted to move both counties up from minimal risk to moderate risk level. Both counties have exceeded 10 active cases per 10,000 people. This means an order is in effect immediately for mandatory face coverings and limited gatherings. Gatherings and events are limited to a maximum occupancy, which allows for each person to have a 3-foot radius around them. The order is in place for a minimum of 14 days, then will be reevaluated.
Smoke from wildfires continues to make its way into the region and impact our air quality. Plenty of wildfire smoke is coming into the area from Oregon and California. The air quality in Pocatello was listed as moderate today, while Bonneville, Butte, Clark, Custer, Fremont, Jefferson, Lemhi, Madison, and Teton counties are in the unhealthy for sensitive groups category. Moderate air quality is acceptable for most people, but those who have asthma or other breathing issues could be impacted.
Unhealthy for sensitive groups just means there's a larger percentage of the population that are probably going to have health effects. But still, the general public, young, healthy adults are probably not going to have health effects.
Unfortunately, this is a trend that will continue throughout the week.
Well, Governor Brad Little declared today as Idaho Missing Persons Day. In recognition, the Idaho Missing Persons Clearinghouse is launching new tools. The Missing Persons Clearinghouse is a division of the Idaho State Police focused on missing persons believed to be endangered because of suspicious circumstances, a medical condition, or mental capacity. So, 2 new social media pages launched today. Twitter ISP alerts will be used for active amber alerts, blue alerts, and endangered missing persons. The Clearinghouse Facebook page will include the same, as well as community notifications. Alumni of Idaho State University were recently sent a letter about a data breach that may have compromised some of their information. Between February and May of this year, Blackbaud, a service provider that houses all of ISU's alumni records, was breached. The company's servers were hit by cyber criminals looking to hold the company's data for ransom. The company worked with law enforcement, including the FBI, to find out what data was breached and has since secured all information. The university says its alumni's most sensitive information was not accessed by the hackers.
So the information that was not taken is bank information, financial information, Social Security information, credit card information. None of that information was compromised.
What could have been breached would have been alumni contact information. And we'll have more on this coming up on KPVI News at 10. Well, Thanksgiving may look a little different this year for most people, including those who enjoy gathering for the Macy's Day Parade. That's coming up, but first we send it back over to Doug. Doug?
And of course, you don't want to be outside gathering, especially up in Lemhi County with how many have there been in the Atlantic Basin this year? You have 3 choices. Go to Facebook. We'll have the answer later on.
Microsoft lost its bid to buy TikTok, but there still may be hope the popular app will continue in the U.S. under a different owner. More on that coming up.
You're watching KPVI News at 5. News that works for you.
A Thanksgiving tradition is being reimagined this year thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will not be live this November. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio made the announcement this morning, but gave few details about what exactly we can expect. He says more information will be released soon.
It will not be the same parade we're used to. It will be a different kind of event. They're reinventing the event for this moment in history, and you will be able to feel the spirit and the joy of that day on television, online. Not a live parade, but something that will really give us that warmth and that great feeling we have on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, TikTok is a hugely popular social media app for sharing short videos, and soon it could be owned by a U.S. company. Microsoft announced over the weekend it had lost its bid to buy TikTok. Sources close to the deal say ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, plans to sell its U.S. operations to Oracle. This comes just weeks after the Trump administration threatened to shut down TikTok if it isn't sold to an American company. There are still questions about the exact terms of the sale and whether the Chinese government will allow the export of the technology used to power TikTok.
It's going to go through a national security review in the next couple of days, and then we'll be sitting down and reviewing it with the president.
Officials in New Orleans say they have an eye on Hurricane Sally as it slowly wobbles towards the Gulf Coast. They're telling residents to prepare for lots of rain, strong winds, and a storm surge that could have devastating effects in the area. Mandatory evacuations have begun in some areas, and preparations are underway to protect fragile populations like the homeless. Hurricane Sally was upgraded to a Category 2 storm this afternoon.
You know, immediately following it's about rescue, you know, and getting people out of harm's way. And so we will respond as needed based on as we get and we hear from our people right and immediately after.
Walmart is offering a new program that could make getting your medications easier. Health News that works for you is coming up.
Well, Walmart will soon be using drones to deliver medications and other health products. The company is partnering with Zipline, a medical product delivery company. It will use drones to deliver health products in less than an hour and within a 50-mile area. The program is expected to begin early next year at Walmart's headquarters in Arkansas. Doctors believe they are getting a better idea of who is more likely to contract COVID-19. While kids and teens typically do well fighting the virus, doctors are finding those who have ever smoked cigarettes or e-cigarettes are 7 times more likely to get coronavirus. Dr. Lindy McGee, a pediatrician with Harris Health, explains why that can be a risk.
You expel an aerosol. That aerosol we know can contain coronavirus. Kids are not vaping at home alone by themselves. They're vaping in groups. So certainly just being around someone who is vaping, if they have coronavirus, could increase your risk. We also know that kids tend to share their vaping devices. So that obviously is not a good idea in these times.
Dentists are seeing more patients grinding their teeth. They say stress is a big factor, and the coronavirus pandemic is giving people more anxiety. Now, it can be tough to know if you grind your teeth while you sleep, so dentists recommend asking the person you share your bed with to keep an eye on you. It's also a good idea to keep up with regular checkups because catching the problem early can save you big bucks.
We range anywhere from a filling at a couple $100s to, unfortunately, sometimes we'll see somebody will crack a tooth and it's not repairable, which can cost a few thousand.
And a new study suggests not getting enough Z's makes it harder to control your appetite. Researchers use data from smartphones to record sleep quality for 120,000 people for up to 2 years. They found people with a body mass index of 30 or higher, which is considered obese, slept less and had more varied sleep patterns. That lack of sleep is linked to an increase in hunger and weight gain. While the results corroborate prior research, FDA-approved devices would need to validate the data because fit trackers are typically worn by younger, healthier people, which can skew the results. Well, here's one more look at today's Brainstormers question, and we'll have that answer after the break. Well, a wake-up call to remember for one guy in Massachusetts this weekend.
Yeah, poor old Matt Beat was enjoying a little poolside nap when a bear walked right up to the pool. Now, the gate was left open, so it seems the bear thought it was the perfect time to see if the water was too hot or it was too cold or it was just right. Then he walks over to Matt, starts smelling Matt's foot, nudges him awake. Clearly, Matt was very surprised to see who interrupted his snooze. Seems the bear was a little shocked, too, as he takes off. Matt grabs his phone because, well, this is something most people would want to catch on camera, and who'd believe you? And then you can see the bear slowly walk back towards Matt for one more quick peek before he runs off for good. Man, nature. Oh.
I like it. He's just chilling by the pool. That's all he wanted. The gate was open. Why not? He's hot too, right? Bear needs to cool down.
That's going to need some big water wings for that bear if he wanted to take a dip in the pool. He needs a big floaty.
Yeah, I like how he just casually strolls up to his feet and messes with them, and that's it.
He probably has some sun lotion on, you know. Smells like coconut.
He's a lot
All
more
right, let's
calm
take
than
a
I
look at our
would've been.
Brainstormers question for today. Doug.
All right, Brainstormers, take a look at multiple choice here, A, B, or C. So far, how many hurricanes have there been in the Atlantic Basin this year? Got 3 choices. What do you say?
I'm gonna go light on this one. I'm gonna go A3.
See, and I'm on the opposite end. I feel like there's been a fair amount, so I'm going to say
Okay.
C7.
See, what was Matt? I didn't hear Matt, so. He says B, 5. What does Angela say?
No, I said A3.
He said 3. Matt said 3.
Oh, okay. Matt said 3, sorry. Oh, Matt says 3. Okay. Let's take a look at Facebook. Looks like the majority on Facebook goes with C7 so far.
Oh.
7. That's a bunch.
All right. Well,